Go for it. We'll put back on some music. I asked for some jazz. Let's change up a little bit, mingle a little bit. Maybe about 10 to 15 minutes we'll start. How's that? And feel free even to get some, this is going to be fun, more informal than tomorrow, a little less formal than tomorrow. Actually, all of it should be fun for you. So let's just relax, get some food. If you want to go back 3, 4, 5 times, we won't be looking. So help yourself, and we'll start shortly, okay? Thank you for your patience. Don't all run to the table at once.
They sound good and they look like they're good, even if you don't know, it sounds good.
Okay. I got some. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, right. Because what you want to do,
I have the silk ass. And this is
So don't be calling nature sunshine. Don't be calling Herbalife. And wait up. But brother, New Body Herbs in 18 countries, you know he needs to be in your kitchen too. He didn't pay me for that. Yeah, I'm going to collect on that later. That sounded pretty good, didn't it? But anyway, he's the founder and owner of New Body Herbs. He's an iridologist also, herbalist, nutritionist, healer, which both of them are, and the list goes on and on, actually, for both Diamond and Dr. Paul Goss. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Ms. Diamond Akonki Buchengo to talk to us for a few minutes about your food choices. Let's give her a hand.
Help take the guesswork out of your natural health journey. We provide a full-service consulting agency and a full line of natural health and body care products. We consult in the areas of life for the purpose of maintaining one's vital health. We are dedicated to providing information on health, nutrition, and correct living through our continued research and teachings and various mediums for sharing information around the world. Our premise is based on the laws of nature only. Our therapies strongly suggest transformation, growth, and spiritualization as a foundation for healing. After healing my daughter of asthma about 12 years ago, I became inspired to help others with their health. I now travel lecturing on health, nutrition, and cooking for the purpose of eliminating disease from the body, people's bodies. Natural law must be understood if we are to live in a society free from disease. Natural law is the basis in which our morals, and our purpose all revolve around. Observing nature is rule number 1. Did you know that 1 out of every 3 people you meet are carriers of the herpes virus? And 1 out of every 5 are carriers of some sort of diabetes, whether it is type 1, type 2, or gestational diabetes. The Center for Disease Control 3 years ago asked Congress to double their budget because they were unable to keep up with all the new mutating diseases. And the CDC also told Congress that degenerative diseases are out of control. These are some of the questions that need to be addressed if we are to live in a society free of disease. What is disease? Being sick or living with any illness, ailment, or pain is not a natural occurrence in your body. It is the act of disobeying nature that allows this to take place. It is when you feed your body hybrid, unnatural foods, you allow your cells to give in to sickness. Thus, disease is born. The fact that more than half the people I speak with say that they are in good health. And these people have known illnesses. Good health would be the absence of illness. In life, everything that happens for a reason. Every cause has an effect. Our body gives us many warning signs. Warning signs such as gas, bloating, or belching. These things go unnoticed. And there are other signs, migraine headaches, upset stomachs, aches and pains. Due to our ignorance, we have been led to believe that these things are natural, when in fact they aren't. In many cases, one or even more of our systems become compromised as a result of these minor symptoms. We are all aware of the spiritual, mental, and physical breakdowns that happen due to our ignorance. Even if you're feeling good at this very moment, degeneration that could lead to serious illnesses could be taking place in your bodies. The same is true for our bodies' internal environment. Our bodies have what is known as an internal environment. Your internal environment is based on the quality of the fluids that your cells live in and depend on. When your body's internal environment, meaning your acid-alkaline balance, is slightly alkaline, disease can't flourish. It is when the internal environment is off by the simplest point that disease begins and health begins to diminish. Setting into motion a host of illnesses like AIDS, cancer, sugar diabetes, and a number of other illnesses. In order for life to continue to exist, it must be thought of in high esteem. This happens when our morals, values, and our purpose in life all revolve around the laws of nature. In order to keep your body's pH balanced, you must eat only those things deemed natural according to nature herself. Fruits and vegetables have elements which are superior to other foods. Eating fruits with seeds and vegetables in their season allows your body's internal environment to remain balanced. Remember, your body is composed of 70 to 80% water. So your nutrition should be composed of 70 to 80% whole, organic, raw, natural foods, with the latter being slightly steamed. In order to replenish cells, assimilation must take place. Assimilation takes place when the substances that you put inside of your body have a natural affinity with your body. More than 18 million Americans are afflicted with type 2 diabetes. 40%, and most of those are said to be children. 40% of that is people under the age of 40. Even the American Medical Association has linked diabetes to diet. they're slowly beginning to link diet to other illnesses as well. Type 2 diabetes is the fastest growing disease today. Did you know that feeding your children foods high in carbohydrates, such as pasta, breads, cookies, and cakes, is the leading cause to diabetes? Eating fiber helps your body reduce the need for insulin. Fiber also helps your body, helps slow down the release of sugars into your bloodstream. This knowledge alone can help you reverse and even prevent diabetes. Ask yourself, would you give your child 1 cup of sugar per day? Think about 2. Eating foods in high carbohydrates is basically the same thing, because when your body uses up all the energy it can from your foods, it dumps the excess sugar into your bloodstream, thus diabetes. Modern technology have brought about great wonders for our time, making life more comfortable. But when the spiritual essence is not involved, the rewards are debilitating. Modern technology has made it easy for people to become unnatural in their lifestyles. Eating on the go has become a way of life for Americans. Eating while doing other chores have become commonplace. Eating prepackaged foods in which the manufacturers use as genetically engineered substances to maintain the shelf life have become devastating. The way we eat is a major cause of our illness today. In most cases, modern technology takes the natural exercise out of your day-to-day activities. Your body is electrical. Your body needs plenty of oxygen and exercise in order to continue to function properly. Stress also plays a riveting role along with diet with maintaining your well-being. The quality of your mind's thoughts can send either negative or positive communications to your body's cells. It is said that at the center of every disease is a deep-seated emotion. When your thoughts are negative and rigid, they create tension in the body, making it harder for your body to release toxins. Having compassion and exercising forgiveness and keeping your thoughts pure helps maintain a state of equilibrium within your body. It is said that, so as a man thinketh, so is he. The absence of this law helps set the stage for illness as well. Biochemistry, botany, and nutrition, according to the seasons, allows us to better understand the basic function and chemistry that creates the functions of your body's cells. Nature has always been the best teacher. Beginning the process back to health requires removing those things which cause disease. In most cases, merely changing the diet is not enough to turn around unhealthy conditions. If cells are heavily congested with toxins, mucus, and acids from years of eating incorrectly, more has to be done. Cleansing and fasting using minerals and vitamins are necessary in order to alleviate disease. Since man's beginning, African tribes have lived and eaten according to nature's laws. Proper care would first be to become enthused with natural health and the things that can help you maintain your life. Secondly, once you recognize those things that put you in danger of bad health, eliminate them. Nature has always provided us with remedies. From an African perspective, where there is breath in the body and the dimmest of light, there is room to reverse illness. The Healer Woman products and services is available to help assist you on your journey back. So take a deeper breath and give your body the quality of health it deserves to function at 110% or above. Thank you.
thought Dr. Goss was just gonna come on up. I'll embarrass him tonight. Payback. That was wonderful. Yeah. And you know, we didn't just go on and on and on. Short and sweet. And simple. And logic. Go. You did an excellent job. Yeah, I told her she had to get off stage in a certain amount of time. But no, it was clearly understood, wasn't it? Yeah. And very, I need to hear it over and over. It keeps me straight. We're all on a journey, and it's a journey. So when you embark on this journey, don't look at it as something other than a journey. Meaning, sometimes we slip and fall, you just get back up, right? Some people are afraid to start because they think, I could never mess up. In coordinating this conference, you don't want to hear what some of the things I ate. But you know what, it's the exception rather than the rule if I eat something that's unnatural. But it happens. So we don't want you to leave thinking, oh, I just can't possibly, do what she said 100% of the time. Start with 30% of the time and see how much better you feel. And you'll want to increase it to 50, 60, 80% of the time. But we're all human. And, it's a journey. So look at it as that. You go from point A to Z. We're striving for perfection, right? Striving for it. Thank you, Diamond. Dr. Paul Goss, I've introduced you. Come on up and talk about what brothers need to know. Brother.
First, I'd like to make a request from somebody in the room. I need, if you look in your purse and give me some spray, cologne. Just anybody, if you happen to have any. I just want to borrow it for a minute. Okay, while that's happening, I just go ahead and I wanted to start this off with a thing that brothers definitely need to know, and that is about edumacation. Because for some reason, education is something, that basically most of us have gotten to the point where we've been beat down to the ground. And somewhere down the line, that has to stop. Everything that we get ready to do comes through the educational process. So it's like you get married, there was an education that took place that you had to go through to do it. And you had to get permission from somebody that started that educational system. You get a divorce, you got to do the same thing through that same educational system. And anytime that you get ready to go into business, do some building, construction, or anything of that nature, you got to go get permission, to do these things. And anytime that you're getting permission, no matter what it is, it's not going to come out the way that you wanted it to come out. Now, it may get a little rough up here. Hopefully, I'm going to try to keep it clean and not say some of the things that I probably don't need to say while I'm up here. But I want to give it to you like this. At one point, a guy walked up to me and he says, about his relationship. And he says, I love a white woman because she takes all of your energy And I said, brother, you're poop. Anybody can take all of your energy and you love it. There's got to be something wrong there. Anytime that you're in a relationship, there should be an exchange of energy. If you go into the relationship, with a positive energy, you ought to stay in that relationship with even more of a positive energy. Because it's a positive energy exchange and not one person draining energy, from one person to the other. Now, when you were born, you knew everything it was to know about everything that it is to know. You just had to actually develop into that. Now, sometimes, the brain doesn't work, and it's only because you're not using that development. And you could be eating from the wrong table. See, there's a number of tables out there. But there is that table, I'm going to use the word to say that African table or the Nubian table. It is a totally different diet, and this is the table, that basically you should be eating from. If you eat from that table, then you'll find out that your body will work in all 12 points, and all 12 of your senses will work. Not the ones that they told you about, in education. We'll take a thing called DES. It's really called diethylstilbestrol. Now, this is a chemical that they put into all dairy products. This will rip your prostates out. So whenever you see this situation of prostate cancer, 99.9% of the time it's going to have something to do with some kind of dairy product. Mainly cheese and ice cream. You need to take the ingredients on both of them and look at them real good to find out what is in it. And then you find out, you've been eating things like wallpaper remover, glue, antifreeze, and this types of thing, just simply by reading the labels, that it's there. And then you can see, why it can cause such a situation of prostate. Now, for everybody, that is eating meat, meat will cause cancer. That's all meats. And if you want to look at it, and figure that you're eating the less of the worst meats, then look at it in this order. The worst meat that you can eat is chicken. Then comes turkey. Then comes fish. Then comes pork. And beef. And lamb. So if you think that you were eating, the better of the meats by going to the worst of the meats, then you can understand why, you have those problems.
Right.
The hormones that they have in the chicken is so bad until the girl can be 6 years old, the boy can be 6 years old. He's got all the muscles, and she's got all the developments of a full-grown woman. Something has to be happening with those hormones. It's causing somebody, to be an adult at 7 years of age. It also causes, most of your venereal diseases just by eating meat. So, if it happens to be one of these days, you come up, and you say somebody gave you something, you might have gave it to yourself when you were sitting at the table eating. So that's something you need to look at. And sugar will actually destroy your brain. I mean, it'll just, most of us, don't use it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So they always talk about, that the brain, we only use about 10% of the brain. Some people say 3% and all that. Well, I got news for you. You actually use 100% of your brains every day. Now, if there ain't nothing up there, now, high blood pressure. All you have to do is just walk into the doctor's office, and he's going to give you some medicine for high blood pressure, and he won't even give you an examination. Now, that's something, actually wrong with that whole picture. because they took the blood pressure, you know, of I think probably somewhere like a 23-year-old white boy, and whatever his pressure was, they set that for the standards of all blood pressure. Well, see, that doesn't work across the board. If you're going to do that, then you've got to take every ethnic group out there and get a blood pressure that would be standard for that particular group. Now, you get on this high blood pressure medicine, and it doesn't take long, probably, you know, a week, 2 weeks. And that stuff will kill your nature to the point you can't even raise the rent. Now, there's a simple method, you know, for it. There's other things that you can use to get rid of high blood pressure if you happen to have it. But the best thing to do is just don't eat anything, you know, that's going to give you high blood pressure. Now, there's a number of times, I've had a number of people, you know, that come into my office because they were impotent and they wasn't on high blood pressure medicine. But when they walked through the door, I would already know what the problem is. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of what that problem is, because see, you know, if I get out of hand, somebody just stop it. An erection consists of blood and oxygen. Without that, there will not be an erection. If you do anything to kill the oxygen content in your system to offset the blood and the oxygen, then that will not be an erection. So it could be one of these times, you know, when your mate is saying to you, honey, what's wrong? And you don't know. And then you're making all kinds of excuses, you know, like you had a hard day at the office. I got things on my mind and all that, you know. You can stop lying and doing that. That ain't got nothing to do with it. It could be that you use that education. Is that the right word? Education? Okay, education. And during that particular time, somebody told you, because you were looking at television, of what it is to smell good. And if you turn your back, you know, and you smell cologne and all that stuff, you wouldn't know the difference of whether it was a man or a woman until you looked around to see. Because men wearing more cologne now than the women. But all the men that's wearing that cologne, you ain't doing nothing. I can tell you that now. I'm going to show you what happens, you know, to the body. Because when you put this stuff on your body, it soaks into your skin. It mixes with the oxygen that is in there, and it destroys your nature. Now, I'm really taking a chance because I just asked for something out of the audience, and whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. But we got two of them up here, so we'll work with one of them. I'll just run this demonstration here, and then I'll be finished. So I just want you to see what is actually happening. Just in case you think I smoke, I already. That's what's going into your system. That's the thing, you know, that is killing. So one thing you can easily say, that you may not have gotten the sexual encounter because you was wearing this, but you see it will produce fire.
Were those some helpful hints or not? Yeah, let's give him another round. And Mr. Gregory walked into the room. I want to call D.Gregory up to the stage. Before we get Unefra Men to give his wonderful presentation, and you've got to hear what Unefra Men from Brooklyn, New York. Before we end, Mr. Gregory promised he would come and say a few words to you, to give you a sneak preview of his presentation tomorrow. Mr. D.Gregory, I don't know how he is, make a formal introduction. Just off the plane.
Praise God. All made it here safely today. Pray to God that your return and my return will be equally safe. Thank you, sir. You know, you stop and you think about we live in the most filthy, insane, ungodly, unspiritual, rotten systems that existed in the history of the planet. Because what you hear these folks saying to you, you don't know this because you've been dulled out as we should. I just went and bought a herb the other day, cost $5,000 an ounce. There's a 6-year waiting list for it. Holy candles. I might take pictures just to know. And I was trying to explain something to a white boy that you know something. And I said, you know, Queen Elizabeth, the Rockefellers, and the Mellons, and the DuPont, they don't get cancer, sugar diabetes, now that you think it's because they're spiritual. Or you think it's because they know something. Queen Elizabeth's mother died at 104, and the wench would have lived longer than that. She understood how to drink whiskey without salt. But once you tune in, see, there's a God force. If I lie to you and you lie to me, if I'm in tune, I can see the crack in the back.
That's right.
My woman here, I come home to how much do you love me? Love is not in a degree, so I've just been trifling, and I'm trying to salvage something. That's all. Children understand that. My problem is I'm just a compliment of the ignorance of my mom and dad. All that old crap about honor your mother and father, I scratched that out and said if they're honorable. Right. And most black folk not even qualified to be around children. After you tolerate a white racist system reducing you below the dignity that God put in you just so you can feel.
That's right.
Down on it. Black folks is doing things nobody. And Chinese gangs 50 years ago in San Francisco, had they not brought the army in, they burnt this state down to the ground. But they got you believing it's a nigger thing. Know how many of y'all saw the movie The Gangs of New York? But they lied? No. Read the book. Read the book. They lynched so many black folks that night, that weekend, because they didn't like the fact that Lincoln was sending them to war to protect these niggas. So they sent the National Guard out. Someone who Lincoln trusted made a phone call and said, I know you just had a great victory in Gettysburg yesterday, but you better wake them up and send them in here. New York won't exist. And Lincoln felt something, and he sent that military in as tired as they were, and sent the Navy in, and they bombarded them, and had it not been for that, New York wouldn't exist. But they got you believing you the worst trifling thing that ever walked the man. Y'all suck into it. This is gone.
That's right.
And I listened to my brother with that cologne. If y'all gonna use the cologne, your man gonna lose it. Let's get you some oxygen put it out. Y'all worry about everything. That's it. Worry. fear in God, do not occupy the same space. Worry about debt, worry about love, worry about all that craziness. Somebody asked me, he said, congratulations, you've been married 45 years. I've been married 45 years. Love ain't got a damn thing to do with it. My old lady told me when we first got married, if you ever leave me, I will hurt you. Hurt will keep you home for a long time. Then when you start making big money, there's another word that'll keep you home that Michael Jordan just found out about called half. I realized how bright my old lady was till Kobe got messed up and all that mess. I mean, me as a white woman accused him of raping her. And he go home and buy his old lady a $4 million diamond. That's when I realized how smart my wife is. Let me tell you something. A white woman accused me of raping her, and I buy Lillian a $4 million diamond ring, she'll go get 2 more white. He got enough sense to know that wherever that ring came from, there was a matching necklace. Then when you stop and think about how fast this thing is, I never thought I'd see the day that, you know, black folks. See, the great part about it, I checked in here, I don't see no homeless folks. And that's good. Because that means all of you all interrupted your life to be here. That's no accident. And these folks have the respect to say, look, this is where this thing is. Until you can undo it, it happens quick. Clinton had a heart attack. I had a heart attack. It's a game they play. I mean, you be around these trifling, filthy, ungodly white folks and don't see their game because you a fool.
Come on.
Our boy that's been president for 8 years. Go to Walter Reed with the best medical stuff on the planet every year, and once you get out, you got to go examine every year to keep the insurance, and he comes down with a heart condition that takes 8 years for it to form? You mean they missed it every year? And then this white boy, they're the first ones to tell you, you ain't never seen anybody with power or money get sick, and they tell you, every black person in the ghetto know what happened to Clinton. Big Macs, they ain't never told you about nobody else get sick. And when do we eat Big Mac burgers? President of the United States for 8 years, he's out of office, one of the most powerful human beings in the world. Once you become president of the United States, and people come in from all over the world to be with him, they take him to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they go to Big Mac, y'all crazy? And all these little trifling cousins we got living in the street eating out the Big Mac garbage can, don't never do no exercise. There ain't nothing wrong with their heart. And y'all don't even feel nothing when they run the game down.
Okay.
I don't have no problem with you watching TV if you understand what you're looking at.
That's right.
The heart attack happened the night after the Republican convention closed, because if it hit the day before, Republican convention would have been wiped out.
That's right.
Newswise.
That's right.
And the one casualty if Curry wins. It's nice you black people worrying about who is this and who. Don't be worried about giving too many aspirins to a dead person. There could be anybody on the planet more evil than the devil. It's Clinton, and y'all don't feel it. 800,000 black men went to jail under his watch. Never before in the history of the planet. That many men of any race went to jail, and y'all think he's a friend?
That's right.
If you read his book, look what he says. He loved me because he loved his mind. But I'm the only one with a radio show in D.C. that said publicly he ain't never met Monica Lewinsky, and he know he haven't. Ain't nothing but a trick. He double-crossed somebody somewhere, and they sent that thing on. A little poor Jewish girl, no money, no power, gonna threaten the most powerful office in the world. And y'all sucking him for that? If this boy had any sense, all he had to do to win just have one little slogan. When Clinton lied, nobody died. Let's say nothing else, But if Curry win, the #1 casualty is Hillary, because she can't run 4 years from now. So now the boy done had his heart tricked, and now he don't have to campaign for him. He'll be recuperating. They put it right out there in front of him. Tiger Woods can outplay God with a golf, but always he ain't won a major in damn near 3 years. Why? Because he goes to Vegas and gamble with them cards and white folk tricks. He losing $10 million a night. If he go play a golf tournament, he gonna win 1.5. I still owe you 8.5 million. So they pay him 30 million not to go at 30 million. Look, and y'all don't see none of that. Huh? Y'all ain't praying for you, never wasting your prayer. Well, see, that prayer changed everything. I was praying for my cousin down there in Florida. A hurricane wiped him out. I was in Jamaica when it came through. I was at a conference, and they said, we got to leave here. We're in the path. Everybody ran to the church. And I said, no, that's okay. I'm going away safe. I thought I was dead. The AP was calling my house, wanted to know nobody got killed. They was sick, hurt, went to the hospital. I finally reappeared. They said, well, you okay? I said, yeah. Where'd you go? I said, to the bank. Y'all be playing games with God. Let me tell you something. Poverty and God do not occupy the same space. Wherever you find poverty, God ain't there. Wherever you find sickness, God ain't there. A gorilla ain't never had sugar diabetes or high blood pressure or couldn't get an erection. You think my God think more of a gorilla than me? Then what am I doing wrong? The game they play. How you worry over debt? You don't just tear up your... God didn't let them worry about it.
That's right.
Another day, you can get all the furniture you want to make the first payment to 07. I went out and bought stuff for niggas I don't even like. I just say thank you for... Let me tell you, this is where this is going. You have all your fancy houses, all your fancy clothes. That don't mean nothing to the universe.
That's right.
No shape, form, or fashion. One day when you ask yourself, how come we in America, black folks, have the worst medical sickness of anybody in the country?
That's right.
And you haven't slowed up to say, wait a minute. We 12% of the population. 87% of everybody in America that should be on kidney dialysis machines is black folks, and that don't bother me. What God you praying to? God is real. When they told me I had the worst form of cancer you could have, I went out, I know the government gave it to me. I don't doubt about that. I just went out and talked to God. I said, God, you know there's some niggas out here that deserve cancer. But I know. Everybody think you just, I know you probably busy, you probably got something on Pluto, and you wasn't watching. But I'll give you 12 names. You want something close to the family? I can say to you, and I'll leave you. Out of fact, those I just walked in and heard the sister talking and then heard the brother. This is the blessing, not Harvard and Yale. You can have PhDs, died at 35. Nothing. Huh? You have all the stuff you want. But you don't just feel stuff. That folks run around worrying about drugs. the one drug that they sell at the supermarket that's more powerful than crack, heroin, and cocaine. It's called nutmeg. Huh? That's right. Don't you remember Malcolm X, the black man in jail, when he wanted to break Malcolm of his hand, he gave him that nutmeg drink? Huh? Old black folks when babies be teased and they run nutmeg on their gums and you feel no pain. Huh? Methadone is made from nutmeg, but y'all put on your potatoes, your sweet potatoes. Some gift from God. It's more freaky, insane white folks that put it out because I cannot get past your God for it trying to get you high.
That's right.
3 things. I'm out. 3 causes of death. Don't come what you eat. At all. 3 causes of death. Number 1 is sleep deprivation. So you can be all the vegetarian you want. Do everything you're supposed to do. Don't go bed. There's some healing hormones that God gave you, but they don't come out till 10 o'clock at night, and they stay out and work till 2 in the morning, and if you ain't in bed by then, you have missed your treatment from the real doctor. Your spine has no blood. Deals with water, and the only time it pulls the water in when you in bed sleep. And 10 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning. If you miss it, the spine don't get no water. But then you start craving all kinds of other stuff to make up for it. Like perverted sex. Like all kind of crazy stuff. I need some drugs. It's called a stimulation by means of aggravation. So I say to you all, I hope you go tomorrow, and you should never come to nothing like this without a tape recorder. And if they say you can't have none, because some folks say you so much money, they don't want you to tape it anyway. I was in the movie the other day, and a white woman's baby was crying, and the brother said, shut that baby up, I'm taping this. I don't want to buy no stolen movie, there was a baby crying. You go home tonight, you better thank the folks that put this on. What you're going to hear, you heard it, huh? You have to understand why black women less than 6% of America's population, but 98% of fibroid tumors is you, and that don't seem to bother you? Huh? Try that crap you putting on your hair. White folks didn't make evil, nasty, nigga-hating white folks. Didn't make nappy hair. God made nappy hair. And when you go against that, you go against God. You gotta go, okay, I'll fix it. The chemicals it takes to straighten out something that God made will poison your whole system. You don't need no cologne, you smell bad. As God said, you got something in you ain't supposed to be in, you get it out. So again, I cannot thank you enough to sit here. I never thought I'd see the day, because when I first put my book out, 98% of my audience told my hell was white folks. I used to tell white folks in D.C., if you want to go someplace where you don't have to be worried about no black people, go out to Rock Creek Park and walk every morning. You cannot see no black people. So again, I say thank you. You see that. Y'all got to be careful. You don't go home and drink alone and set the house on fire.
And still a comedian. Thank you. I didn't mean to try to rush him off, but I wanted y'all to come back tomorrow. He's going to speak for an hour and a half, and he's going to get to ask any questions you want. And I wanted to make sure we had you here for Ra'un Nefer Amen. He is awesome, I'm telling you. Thank you, Mr. Gregory, for coming in. After getting off his flight. We really appreciate it. Thank you. I told y'all you were in for a treat tonight. with all the speakers. Has it been wonderful?
Yeah.
We're going to learn a little bit more. We're going to talk a little bit about relationships. I told you mind, body, and spirit. Physical's one thing, mental and spiritual's another. I'm going to call Marcus. Okay. I like all these brothers. Yeah. See how many brothers is in the house? This is wonderful. People Thought African Americans for Balanced Health was a women's organization. Did they not, Bobby?
Yes,
He used to tell us your women's group, health is about all of us. And it's good to see the brothers. Women give the brothers a hand. Brothers give themselves a hand. Yeah, so y'all women screaming. That's what I want to do. Marcus Gary. I should know that. I've talked to you a few times. I'm just excited, Marcus. Marcus Gary is from the Asset Society. He's a chief and priest. Did I get that right? And he's going to introduce Ra'un Nefer Amen for us.
Thank you very much. I really would like to share some appreciation for Sabrina for putting this on, African American Balanced Health. This is a wonderful, wonderful group. And I'd like to just share a little bit about Ron Nefer Amen with you all. Ron Nefer Amen is the founder and leader of the Osira Set Society. It is an African society that's that's rooted in the spiritual tradition of ancient Kemet. Ron Nefer Amen is a teacher of meditation, of traditional Chinese medicine, and a homeopath. He's actually the only black person to have authored a book in homeopathy. The name of that book is Healing the Errors of Living, and that book is sitting in the display over there. Due to his tremendous accomplishments in the fields of health and spirituality, he was bestowed last year with an honorable doctorate degree. His love for God has been shown through his 31 years of devotion in building a spiritual community that is made up of 38 centers that span all the way from California to London, from Canada to Trinidad. He's offered classes throughout this time for free in the areas of spirituality, health, traditional Chinese medicine, relationships, and ancient African history. He's authored many books that have become the guiding light for those following the Kemetic culture. Those, to name a few, the Meduniter, volumes 1 and 2, Tree of Life Meditation, and the Mount 11 Laws of God. And tonight we'll get a little bit more insight into his book, An Afrocentric Guide to a Spiritual Union. And so without further ado, let me bring to the stage, thank you very much, Ron Nefer Amen.
I'd like to start off by, first of all, congratulating the African Americans for Balanced Health and Black Americans Against Cancer for this wonderful, wonderful service to our people. I've been doing this work for 31 years, and it's very, very hard, believe me. And I really applaud the courage and the devotion to our people. I'm talking about, relationships, between black men and black women. And some of you might wonder what does that have to do with a health conference? And I remember some 12 years ago, I shared an event with Mr. Gregory in Washington, D.C., and he said that talking about crime in America. And, he said that don't be so much concerned about, how dangerous it is out there, because most crimes occur in the home. So what does that have to do with health? What we talk about male-female relationship has to do with health. And we all, in the health profession, know that stress is the number one trigger, the number one cause of illness. Thousands of years before the European, acknowledged this fact, it was known in China, it was known in Africa, okay? And that the main cause of illness is stress, emotional stress. And we all have to agree that the biggest source of stress is in your marriage, in the family. That's where, it's the one situation that we cannot walk away as easily from. You're with me? It's the one situation where we are bound stronger to one another, and when things go wrong, they can really tear us apart. So it's very important that we get the family straight. If you own the bank, okay, how will you hire? What will you do to hire the people that is going to work for you? You certainly will not take people without education. Okay, you will insist on the education. You want to see all kind of resumes, and you want to double check on people's education, and so on. Well, that's because you're concerned about your money. But you ought to be much more concerned about your entire life and your health and your wealth, and that has to do with family. And my question is, when you pick someone to marry, to spend the rest of your life with, could affect your health, your longevity, your well-being, okay? Do you ask for resume? Do you, I had a commercial about this young man says, when they asked him, do you say I do? The guy says, well, forward-looking statements, carries a lot of risk, and so on. That's what marriage is, and I put together a little 5 points that, would ensure that you have a good relationship, a good marriage. And I've been counseling families for the past 31 years in Los Angeles society. And I have many people that are trained to do that. So I'm just bringing you 31 years of having done about some 20,000 counseling sessions, okay? By myself and through, the counselors that I've trained and I work with. The first element for good relationship is, and a good marriage is spiritual cultivation. The second one is spiritual readings. Third one is meditation. The fourth one is social accountability. The fifth one is a healthy lifestyle. Let's take the first one first, spiritual cultivation. A lot of people, throw the word spirituality around. I'm spiritual, spiritual this, spiritual music, and things of that nature. But I want to get to the essence of what spirituality is, okay? Spirituality is a commitment to discover and change negative behavior patterns. Okay? In other words, if I want to have a spiritual marriage, if I want a spiritual in my family, that means that I will not, inflict my anger on you. Anger kills. Anger makes you very sick. You see that? If I'm spiritual, then I'm going to, take classes somewhere. I'm going to learn how to transcend anger. You can manage it. Because you see, when we respond with anger to one another, to our children, to our husbands, to our wives, we're making ourselves sick, we're making our family sick. You understand that? Or fear. If some people have this, they make you afraid. They try to get you to do the right things by, instilling fear in you. But fear kills people. Fear makes you sick. Every time that you become angry and you're afraid, okay, the adrenal gland goes into fight or flight mode and it shuts blood away from the vital organs. Liver, kidneys, heart, spleen, so forth, to give the energy to the muscles, the arm, the legs, which are the muscles you need now for fighting or fleeing. You see that? So that when you live in constant fear or anger, your literally starving your vital organs, you see, of blood, nutrients, and so on. You understand that? So spirituality means, transcending negative emotions. Okay? This is important. Brother Gregory spoke about the church and stuff like that, and God and things like that, because many of us go to church, but then we go home and inflict anger and instill fear, because we've not been, educated properly that these things kill us and kill the people that we are dealing with. So, if you're going to say that you're spiritual, it is only because you are in a program to learn to transcend your negative emotions. They don't help you, they don't help the people you're living with. I'm going to make this short. Spiritual readings is an African thing. We have been taught to look down on African religion and African spirituality. But, our ancestors left us devices, cowrie shells and things of that nature, where we can, find out, about, the person that we are going to marry. In other words, you see, the Western mind has taught us to glorify logic, the logical mind. But logic cannot tell you that that woman or that man is going to, is a good candidate, going to turn out to be a good candidate 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. You see that? But through an oracle spiritual system, you can find out what your weaknesses are. You see that? What kind of problems you might be looking at 5, 10 years from now. So this is something that you have to look into. Many of us don't, when I say spiritual reading, I don't mean tarot, and oracles through cards. Our African ancestors left us some very dignified, means of, looking into the spirit, into the mind, to find out, to diagnose what our spiritual problems are. And you need to really take a good look at that, because many of us are just biased. We don't even want to hear about it, don't want to think about it. Why? Because the white man told us that these things are primitive or demonic or whatever. Who is he to tell everybody about demonic things? Think about that. Okay? Spirituality, spiritual cultivation means learning about your spirit. We got spirit, we got mind, we got body. What is spirit? The spirit is that part of your being, the divine spirit within is that part of being where the knowledge of everything you need to know is stored.
That's right.
You say, what kind of God would make man to come to earth, to go through all that man has gone through for millions of years, or 1,000, 100,000 years? I mean, look at history. What kind of God would put us on earth, ignorant, without the means of accessing some knowledge to go right from wrong? Everything that you need to know to live properly is stored in your spirit.
That's right.
It's going to take the time to access that. You understand that? And your religion must teach you to access that knowledge within the spirit. And that requires meditation. Listen again, right? I didn't say that the knowledge of how to live right is in a book. I said it's stored in your spirit. Everyone in this room here has been sent to earth with a knowledge stored away within something called your spirit. And you need to take the time to learn how to access that knowledge. And that knowledge is meditation. How to take the consciousness within. They said the kingdom of heaven is within. That kingdom of heaven is where that knowledge to avoid problems and solve problems is stored. And for lack of knowledge on how to meet life's problems, we get very stressed out, very angry and upset and things of that nature. So we need to learn to meditate, to go into our spirit, to retrieve that knowledge and also find the power to overcome our problems, because the day will come for all of us where money will not get it. Where external power will not get it. Where nothing external will get it. It's going to be you and what God gave you, your spirit. The next point is social accountability. That's what we had in Africa. That's what we had here in Africa, America, until about maybe 2 generations or 1 generation and a half ago. Social accountability. In other words, a lot of marriages break up or go wrong because people no longer don't have anybody to answer to. We have allowed, other people to pervert our social structure, our family structure. Okay? In other words, people, they come somewhere and they hear all the good moral and spiritual teachings or whatever, and they say, yeah, but there's no answer to it. So you do what you want to do. So you have to, work together to put a social accountability structure in place. This thing about, part of family in Chicago, then a part of family in Timbuktu, then a part of family in New York, then a part of family in, Florida. No, you gotta, that whole thing of just breaking yourself up like that. You see, they allow the black man to call the traditional African family the extended family, and they call the Western family the nuclear family. No, all we have is family. What they have in the Western world, that's not family. Again, that is a young spirit, a young group of people just learning how to work together. But I want you to understand, when you allow yourself not to, maintain that strong, cohesive family situation, then you have thrown out the window accountability. Then people do what they want to do. You understand that? You say you have to have social accountability. And I'm rushing through this because we take, many weeks to months to teach this course. I'm just giving the outline because time is of essence. The other thing is, healthy diet and lifestyle. Okay? You're going to eat right, your emotions are going to be funky. You don't eat right, you don't have a good lifestyle, you don't exercise, you're sedentary, you drink liquor, you smoke, it affects your emotions, it clouds your thinking, you're going to inflict anger and fear and injustice against each other, you're going to make each other sick. That's where your illnesses come from. That negative emotion that comes from wrong thinking and wrong emotional patterns, but it goes back to an unhealthy lifestyle. Okay, folks. I mean, you understand that when you bring to the supermarket, bring all that, ice cream and cakes, you call it love that you bring into your children. Let us, reconsider that. Okay, all right. All those children are rhythm, because I'm a homeopath, and I can tell you and we have our own schools in New York, in Milwaukee, in Washington D.C. The Center Society has schools in different parts of the country, and we get children very young, and I see that most of the hyperactive kids that we have come from grandparents who abuse alcohol. Parents who abuse marijuana. This is the generation kind of thing. The present generation of young kids today, they didn't drink that much alcohol, they smoke that marijuana. But their fathers and mothers drank alcohol. And we find a lot of that running into hyperactive kids and adults today. And that attention deficit disorder comes from alcohol, it comes from sugar abuse, okay? There's a great book talking about excitotoxins. Things that excites the brain, make the brain race and crave pleasure in all kinds of perverted forms. All the food additives. They put all, the things that make food, quote, taste good are called excitotoxins. They trick the brain. There are chemicals that go to the pleasure centers in the brain to make you believe that the food tastes good. You understand what I'm talking about? Because they want to get you hooked on your products. Okay? And they are all hidden forms and variations of MSG that they don't have to put a label as MSG because it's really, they found ways around that. But it's in your foods and it excites the brain to make you want and keep craving for those foods. But then it makes you hyperactive and affects your attention deficit, and the result is negative emotion behavior that comes with what you call stress. You see, the number one cause of cancer. Okay? And it's a model, the grand model of all your illnesses. I mean, it predisposes you. You follow what I'm saying? Then you got to add that to the meat and the milk and all the things that all the wonderful people spoke here about. Okay, and I'm so when they asked me to come and speak here, and they said, well, we cannot, pay you and things of that nature, but, we can't give you. Hey, I would pay my own fare to come here and talk. Okay? This is a picture of what I've been doing for 21 years, just going out there and teaching and teaching and teaching. And I know we got a break, it's a short, program tonight and so forth. And I hope that God bless all of us here tonight and keep us safe. And I hope you can come tomorrow again and bring some friends so that we can really have a nice, longer talk. Thank you very much.
Going to speak about traditional Chinese medicine tomorrow, and I heard you do that presentation, and a longer one on, this was really short, on the relationships. When I heard him, it was, I think he spoke for an hour and a half or so, because there's so much more to it, but his book is really good, An Afrocentric Guide to Spiritual Union. Did I say that right? Yeah. And some of his other books. So they'll be available, and he'll be signing them for you as well as Dr. Goss's books, Forever Young, and he's a good example of Forever Young. You can ask him his age when you get your book signed. And Rebirth of the Gods is his other book. So I want to thank them. But one of the things that I kind of switch things around a little, since we're running late, let's just allow about 15 minutes for questions and answers, and then we can adjourn for networking and get your books and books signed if you want. We'll probably have to use this microphone, though, because it's a roving mic. We were supposed to have a mic stand. It's your chance to ask. I didn't stop after Dr. Goss and Dr. Diamond Akonke Buchengo spoke. I went ahead and allowed everybody to speak. And so now you can ask a question and direct it to any panel member that you want, okay? We do? Okay, can somebody come and where's the mic stand? Right over here. Okay, if somebody wants to ask a question, feel free to come right up to the mic and... Well, they can line up. What do you say? Oh, okay. Okay, I guess that's a good suggestion to save time. Save time walking up. If you could stand up and speak loudly, and I can repeat the question that you asked so that everybody can hear it, that would be fine. Who can help me facilitate this? Because y'all know I'm healing a visual impairment, so I might not see you over here. Just point to whoever.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. Just call on. So Bobby's in charge of this. Whoever she points to can ask a question.
I have a question regarding diabetes. The ones that adults get and the ones that juveniles get. I've heard a lot about the adult diabetes being able to be reversed. Is there anything that you can say about juvenile diabetes?
Is there anything you can say about juvenile diabetes?
You're talking about the type 2?
Type 1.
Type 1. There's a lot of good research out there. I'm just going. There's a lot of good research out there. They find out you take a teaspoon of cinnamon in the morning, take a teaspoon of cinnamon in the morning, and a teaspoon of cinnamon in the evening. There's a lot of reversals come out of that. And, I mean, don't stop doing what you're doing, but you'll see a big difference. I'm sure they have.